good evening. We are back and we know you missed us, right? I am sitting here with one of my dearest spiritual, I don't want to say children because they're not children, but spiritual adults. We've been connected for, how many years has it been? I don't even know.
I think
like forever, right?
Yeah.
I'm dating myself, but from the time I taught at Harris Stowe. Is that correct? Yeah. And she has been away. She left town to take a position, and I don't think I've seen her in 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm just, if I get a little teary-eyed, just forgive me. But I want to introduce you to Asia Branham, and you tell us something about yourself.
Hi everybody, my name is Asia Branham. I'm an academic advisor at the University of Arizona.
Arizona, it's okay.
And I'm excited to be here to talk to you today.
And I'm glad you can make it. Yeah. I'm so glad you came. I have been missing you dearly. And I'm going to be careful because she's a waterhead like me and we don't want to get all over the screen. Tell us about what you do. What do you do there? What kind of work do you do?
So I work with students to help them create college plans, share resources that we have available on campus. Mm-hmm. I also work with our academic warning students, so students who are on like academic probation or academic warning. I create workshops for them to share resources that we have available to help them become eligible within the university. And then also I like monitor our website where they complete like modules.
Okay.
That will just help them with things they may struggle with, whether it's like test anxiety,
right.
If it's not being familiar with the resources we have on campus. Mm-hmm. They do take a couple of quizzes just to see where they are and what resources they do know about on campus.
Okay.
And then.
So that sounds like mentoring a little bit to me. I mean, more professional, more upscale probably than mentoring. But it sounds like mentoring. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Just to make sure they end up in the right place at the right time and doing the right things.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it? Do you like it?
Actually, I do. I would like to spend more time actually working with groups of students. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm working with students individually, where I'm helping them create plans and things like that. I'm more so like, I like the personal relationships that I'm creating with students, not more so like the academic advising piece, because I'm just like, here, these are the classes you take, this is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like getting to know the students and like actually being personable with them, I enjoy that piece because I'm like, I can share my responses with students or my experience with students and kind of like step out of my shell.
You can tell them what to do, basically.
Yeah, and make them comfortable. I try to make them comfortable.
Make them think you're the expert. I get that. That's a sweet spot.
Yeah, I try to make them feel comfortable. So I try to not be as professional with students, but keep it professional to a point where they're still comfortable.
And you have some of that in you, honestly, because we've been connected a long time for the Making Black Worth Project and Yes to God and I can't even remember our other group. We've been working with 3 different groups, just trying to talk about purpose and positioning and power, and getting people, specifically young adults, to think about where am I going, and is there something that I have been intentionally purposed to do? Is that a fair synopsis of what we stayed on Zoom forever doing, and we've had 3 or 4 conferences where they come put the conferences together, and it was all about young adults. So tell me about that experience for you, because I haven't had anybody that I asked that question. I don't know why I'm asking you, and you can be honest. It won't hurt my feelings. Okay. So did it have any impact on you at all? The conference, it was a Make Your Life Work Project conference where we invited college students to spend the day with a group of men and a group of women, and we separated them to have conversations that are tough to have, because you usually don't have people to have those conversations with. And then we had breakout sessions and things like that. So tell me what you think.
So for me, honestly...
And she can say honestly. It won't hurt my feelings. That was my conference. I shouldn't have said, okay.
So honestly, I didn't even have any expectation when I went to the conference, because I was there for the summer bridge students. And so I was just like, I'm just bringing them here. I'm just here to chaperone and just watch and make sure everything goes smoothly.
Right.
But as I was in the conference, it was like, it was for me. It was just like, it was speaking to me about everything. It was touching my heart.
I did not pay her.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I was just like, I was touched by the speakers and the information that was being shared. I actually cried at this conference, and I was not expecting that at all.
Because it's needed. It's that, so you can get in college, you know, you can apply and become a college student. Yeah. But to become what you're supposed to become, you need more than just the college classes and college student status. So.
And I think that's what the conference touched on a lot. It was a lot of things that we don't really talk about. I think when we come to college, it's always about like the academics, but nobody talks about like the story that got you to college. There's a lot of things that we had to go through to get to where we are.
And you still have that junk. You really do still have that stuff on you.
Yeah, and so to actually hear somebody bring that up in the conference, or someone to talk about like the personal baggage, or just like how to prepare for college and how to actually navigate through college and still focus on like your academics, but also the personal stuff that you go through. It was nice to actually have that conversation, because it's like, wow, I never actually like sat back and talked about this stuff. I'm just going through the flow.
Well, that's nice to know, because we are going to bring it back. I think COVID threw us off track a little bit, but I do believe that it's much needed. I'm still getting calls from students that were engaged that many years ago. So we know that it's needed, and we know that we were, as a team, we're doing a pretty good job of producing that. So tell me, if you could do anything in the world that you wanted to do, but it had to change a life situation, what would it be? And you have time. You could think about it. I threw that. I didn't tell her I was going to ask her that question. But what would be your passion?
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
That's okay. We see, we're ready. We're ready.
Okay. My thing would be, I would bring families together.
Tell me more about that.
So, I think I would focus on like bridging the gap between families, and just like, I think there's a lot of, actually I would try to help families build that foundation to where they can actually sustain and, you know, build and stay together.
So kind of like bringing all these separate entities together. That's one part of it, I guess. Right? Under maybe not under the same roof, but at the same time, cohesively trying to address those things. Okay.
Yeah, I think I would just like, I want families to like focus on, you know, how to build wealth and how to manage emotions and how to have tough conversations and that sort of thing, and just like doing it together as a family.
Right. Okay.
Because I think the stronger the family, the stronger you could do anything with like that strong foundation. So
no walking away from the table. Okay. Well, so where did that come from? Where do you think that comes from? And you don't have to answer, because I don't know if I'm delving too far.
No, it's okay.
Where does it come from?
Well, I will say I had personally, I had a great family foundation, I believe. But of course, I think everybody has like the family struggles, those family problems and things like that. But I also, I think I had a really good childhood, and I have those memories of like being around my siblings and being around my parents and things like that. And I think that helped me become the person that I am today.
I absolutely agree with that. Our family was, absolutely.
And so just to be surrounded by like that love, that experience, the experiences that I've had. Of course, there were challenges and some tough times, but that built us up to be who we are. Even with my siblings, like I look at them and I'm just like, they're filled with so much love, and like they bring light into other people's families and lives and things like that.
That's funny, because that came to my spirit today, earlier today. I don't know what situation I was in that brought it on, but it came to my spirit that we are so fortunate as a family. You know, the things we were like, the allowances and go play, and I mean the things that we were able to do as a family. Absolutely, that's funny. It just came to my spirit today.
And I feel like this generation, we're getting away from that.
Yeah, they're missing out on that kind of intimacy.
And so I miss seeing that within the world. So.
Absolutely, I get that. Okay, so if you had a wand, you just
Yep.
look it. And they would get it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about purpose. What does that word mean for you, if you've ever thought of a definition of it?
I would say for me, purpose is doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. I think,
wow, I have to do it on time too?
Yeah. Because some things just need to happen within a certain time frame.
Oh, say that again for the person in the back.
Yeah. Some things need to happen within a certain time frame.
And I didn't tell her to say
And I'm
that.
like, and as much as I'm saying it, I'm like, I think I still struggle with that a lot.
But you know it though.
Mm-hmm.
And so you strive toward it, and that's the point.
Yeah.
You just got through talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, that's...
So why do you think then that we have this stigma around people who try to do things in line with what they're supposed to be doing? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like people love people that are radical, or mm-hmm. that don't fall in line, or that don't dot their I's and cross their T's. What is that, do you think? And you don't have to have the answer. We're just kind of talking. And I'm responding to what you say to me. Mm-hmm. I tend to do that. I'm sorry. Maybe I should write a script. But it's like it's unfashionable nowadays to be a person that plans and executes, and and cares what you're thinking, and cares what you're feeling, and things like that. So what is that? That's kind of your generation.
Yeah.
This mess things up, right? So where do you think that comes from?
Honestly, I think there's a time and a place for like planning, and then actually like just jumping in to do certain things. Okay. Because like you could just be in the midst of something and you see that something needs to be done, something needs to happen. And so if that person feels that inkling or feels inclined to do that, like they'll step in and jump in and do what they're supposed to do. But I do believe that a person is like, sometimes you have to step back and actually like plan for what needs to be done.
Right, exactly.
And so.
But I don't see a lot of that. I shouldn't say I don't see. Is there a lot of that planning going on?
No. I would say, okay.
I would say, I'm bashing my babies.
Yeah, I would say, in my opinion, I don't see that a lot. I think a lot of times people feel something and they believe, let me just go do this, let me go, without thinking about like the consequences or what could happen if you do whatever it is that you have in mind.
So what do you think that comes from? And I know you've done some workshops for young adults and stuff like that. So where do you think that tendency comes from? Where do you think that desire to be like out of line, or do it your way all the time and not, you know what I mean? Is that, okay?
I think it's a microwave generation. And so we try to get things done as soon as possible. We move on to the next thing. And so we don't really value what it is that we're doing. And I think that's important, because if you don't value what you're doing, you're kind of just doing stuff.
So what about partnerships? Do you think that is, how you go get a job and you just know that you're going to work as a team? What do you think? Because I think that's eroding. I don't think people understand team anymore, and I think people are solo actors. So why do you think that's? And I'm not saying that you've done the research or anything, but why do you think that has changed?
I would just say with the world we're living in, a lot of things are changing. It's a lot of stuff that's happening, and so we don't trust each other.
Okay.
And so that is a huge thing. Like, you have to build that trust with people, and
it takes a long time, because there's a lot of stuff, as somebody that is establishing those relationships, there's a lot of stuff that piles up.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of us feel like we can handle it. Is that fair?
Yes, I agree. I totally agree.
Young people think they're just,
I can just do everything by myself.
Absolutely.
I'll figure it out. And I will say, even with like working with in education, especially with my academic warning students, like they talk about that a lot, of like sometimes they feel they're going to be judged if they ask for help, not trusting people enough to ask for help. They feel like they can do it on their own. And so eventually, like I've read comments where it's like students are like, I feel like I can get it done by myself, but then by the time I realized that I couldn't, it was too late. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's poor planning. But yeah, I got you. That's interesting. They don't want to ask for help.
And judgment, like the fear of judgment, was like a huge thing, like consistent with students that I kept seeing. So I'm like, and that's fair because you never know when you ask for help if you're actually going to get the help or if the person that's helping you is actually there to support you and is genuine.
As opposed to like sabotaging or something? Is that?
Or just like if the help that they're receiving, if it's genuine.
I think that makes sense because I think the environments have changed. Now that I'm listening to what you're talking about, there is a lot of difference in like how I grew up and even how you grew up. You know, so the environments have changed. So what if you had a magic wand? I wish you did. But if you had a magic wand, what are one or two of the things you use your wand to either improve or make different or make better? You can take time to think about it. I know I kind of pulled that out of my head.
Excuse me.
I know you think a lot. You feel things deeply like I do. So I thought that'd be cool to hear.
I think it would take me back to families. Like I would use my wand to change the structure of families and just like how they're coming about in this generation.
You said the structure. What do you mean by that?
So,
tell me a little bit about that.
You know, like 2-parent households and you know, people are able to manage their finances and
equipped for all that. Okay.
We know how to communicate and if we're having issues or anything like that, we'll know how to communicate those issues and still manage to be a family afterwards. Right. Even if it's something like we disagree with or anything like that.
My family we used to have these, I forgot what we called them, but they were honesty sessions.
Yeah.
They're cool until they get rough. But yeah. All of us used to sit and say, well, you know what, I don't like what you did. You know, we have these conversations. And now I have a book. When we go out of town, sometimes we use the book. And we've learned to not carry it, just leave it in that space. So that's probably the way you could do that, is just leave it in the space, you know. Yeah. But it is healthy, maybe.
Yeah.
Not for me, because I'd be thinking, oh, I'm doing all this stuff wrong. Yeah. But yeah, okay. And what else? What else?
And just like,
where else would you use your wand?
Where would I use my wand?
Maybe in the classroom?
I was going to say the education system. I would use it in the education system too. Okay. Because, I mean, I think it's important that we gain the knowledge and things that we need. Students are set up for success, and it's not just like, it's not about just the grades, or it's not just about the numbers or anything like that. It's actually about students learning and becoming the people that they want to be, so that we can get to the purpose that build our purpose, build in our purpose. And I think education is like that second start. For me, I think that's like the second piece after, you know, being with your family and things like that.
And I love that you said that they want to be. We just got through talking about that earlier too, but what you want to be may be totally different from what the world thinks you need to become, right? You know, or what your career is, and it's multi-level. You think, because I think it's important to know what you want to do with a career. Yes. But I think it's more important maybe to know who you are and what you are, and how, you know what I mean. The things that we talk about all the time. You know, your who, what, where, when, why, and how of your own person. Would you agree with that?
I agree. Yes, I agree.
Because you can be stuck in a position and not be there if you don't really know who you are. Yeah. So if I had a little box, I guess about this size, and I put something in it, and it was yours, right? What would you right now want in that box? One thing. That's tough. I know.
I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was money.
Nah. How much money? You don't have a number?
Nope. A lot of money. So.
Well, I think $50 is a lot of money. You know? A lot is relative. Yeah. So, think about that. And the next time we talk, I want to know what you want in that box. Okay. And the reason I said that is because everything is trying to get our attention nowadays, right? And I was talking to Nina one day, and I said, what do you really, really, really want?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what do you really want? If you had a box and what you wanted was in that box, what would it be? And I think we don't do that with ourselves enough.
Right.
We say what we should have, what we need to do, where we have to go, and it's always have to, need to, and it's rarely ever want to.
Right.
So I just introduced that as an idea. Sometimes just ask yourself where you, don't be extreme, because some young people, that's all they do is what they want to do, you know? But I think it's important to know what you want out of life so that you don't get to a spot where you just looking around and you're like, I don't even want that. Let me walk away from this.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions for me? You don't have to come up with them. I just wanted to invite you to.
No, I don't have any questions right now.
Okay, I have one final question.
Okay.
And it is about purpose.
Okay.
That word is used a lot. You know, it's been popular for quite a few years. It kind of died down a little bit, and it's revived itself. And my question is to you: what does purpose look like in your mind, and why is it important and imperative that people at least consider it on their life journey? That's a two-point question, twofold question.
Okay.
Why is it important and to life? And I just picked out the second part of my question. Why is it important that people think about that? Basically, what? It's just a word. So why is it important that people consider that in their life journey? And what could be the impact if you don't?
For me, I think, I think purpose is just like who you are.
Okay.
Because if you don't have something that gets you up in the morning, what are you doing? And so
tell me a little bit. What do you mean who you are? Come on, talk to me.
So
I know you've thought about it a lot over the years.
Just who you like. What are you? Why are you here on earth?
Okay.
What are you called to do? What are you passionate about?
Okay.
What is your why? So
that's good.
I think if we don't have that one thing that keeps us driving, like that keeps us going, we kind of just stop and we're stuck.
Because you're living without a why. You're just here and breathing. Yeah, that's good.
And so, for me, I just want to do what I'm called to do. I want to help people. And I think that's important because that's what we're all here for. We're here for each other. We're here to serve one another. We're here to do something for somebody else. And so I know it's like...
it's an old school value.
Yeah, it seems cliche, but it's like we're here for someone, like we're here to serve and do something for somebody else. And I just like what keeps coming to my mind is like I'm not here like for myself, like I'm not here on my own. Right. And so I know that I'm called to do something big. I'm called to help somebody. I'm called to pour out whatever it is that's inside of me.
Right, exactly. And
give it to somebody else because I know that there's someone out here that needs it.
And that is so powerful. What I was thinking here, I was sitting thinking about when I first went to hairstyle this semester. There's a young lady that came upstairs to help me with my computer. And I heard, in my spirit, give her $20. Because that's kind of my thing. People don't like to give money, so I tend to do it, like tip a fast food worker day and all that stuff. So I pulled it out of my pocket, right? When she finishes, I give it to her. She's like, "What is this?" I said, "I don't know. I just believe that I heard that it was yours." She said, "I don't know." She just keeps working. She said, "Oh, I remember." She said, I had some money that I took out of my father's thing. Not like stole it, but borrowed it. And I had to pay $20 back. So I think if I wanted to end on something, it would be that we can hear from a source, or we can hear from our spirit, right? And when we hear that, obedience to that, like you just said, is one of the most important things you can do. In the caring for other people, you begin to care for yourself, right? And then you begin to want to explore new territory. And that's kind of what life is, If you're selfish, then you're self-centered. Yeah. And so if you're only centered on yourself, you only got to get what you have to give.
Right.
Is that fair? Yeah. So it's an experience.
Yeah. I think it teaches us to like really value people and just life in general.
Absolutely. And what you're doing, like you said earlier, I think you said that when we first started the video recording. What you do is you pour out. You don't. So what you do is not for you.
Mm-hmm.
Although ultimately it pays you.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You do it because you're led to do that. You're led to
Mm-hmm.
undergird. You're led to walk with. You're led to pray with if you're a prayer. You're led to give workshops. You're led to do things that lift people up.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the whole secret. You know, what you do that lifts others up, lifts you up. And that's the ultimate purpose, right? Did you want to add anything? Thank you. You gave me that. Did you want to add anything else? I really enjoyed you. I miss you so much, man.
I miss you too.
She's been gone a long time, you know. So I'm enjoying this. Anything that I didn't bring up that you want to say, you feel free to say it.
I mean, I first I want to thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
And I thank you for doing this because I know there's a lot of stories that people have to share that could touch somebody else.
Yes.
Even if it's one person that like watches the show or anything like that. You're doing your job and that other person is doing their job of helping somebody else with their story. And
Absolutely.
and I'm just like, and only God knows like what that person needs out of whatever conversations that we're having. And I know I've seen the show a couple of times and I've even got some things from it as well. And so I encourage everybody go back and look at the other videos because there's some good gems.
They are. My guests are phenomenal, man. I mean, they come up with stuff I wouldn't even think about. And so I was nervous at first, but this is kind of my comfort spot. You know, I'm surprised it's this comfortable. But I think I even find value. You know, it's one thing to be sitting here talking to a guest, but when I go and look at it, I'm like, wow. You know, that made me, that made me cry. That impacted me. And so I feel very fortunate to be able to sit here with people like you and have this conversation openly and just kind of raw. We don't script it, you know. Yeah. It's just like whatever you feel like saying, say. Yeah. So we are going to wrap up, but I want to say thank you guys for tuning in again. Thank you for, we're getting some nice views, so we appreciate the numbers, but more importantly, we appreciate you receiving the messages. You may not be spooning them all up, but I hope that something one of us said or something that one of my other guests says propels you forward to not only your destiny, but your purpose, so that you know you fit because you were designed perfectly to fit. All right. Good night, and thank you.
Good night.